What's up guys, welcome back to another charting up video. Normally I get these out on Sunday, but I didn't get it out yesterday, so we're getting it up today. But you'll see, really, you haven't missed anything. As usual, it's kind of a little bit more of a chill video, so grab a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, chart up with me, put it at, 1.5 or 2x speed, whatever suits your fancy. But we're going to be going over 3 pairs today. I think we'll be going over GU, GA, and GN. So we'll look at those 3 pairs and we'll see what's going on with the market. So let's get into it. We'll start off with GU. Start off on the monthly just to see if there's anything that's super pressing. We're on this 50 EMA right here, which is pretty significant. There. Yeah, so right off the bat, this is going to be a really good buy opportunity. We're not anywhere close. I mean, this is a weekly chart, but this is something that you're not going to want to miss. We've got that monthly fib, monthly 38 fib, as well as the weekly 200 EMA. So this obviously, I mean, there's nothing else to talk about. That's obviously a trade that you're going to want to be in, but we're not too far, so we won't spend any more time on that. Keep an eye out for that moving average on the weekly. This one on the weekly as well. As you can see, the US dollar has been gaining a little bit of strength. All pound pairs have been dropping a fair bit, so it's not too surprising. Really, we want a pullback, and you're going to hear me say it 100 times. We need pullbacks, especially on British pound crosses. This right here will be a phenomenal setup if we do actually get it. We might not, but if we do, I won't hesitate to take it. Just above 1.36, so we've got that round number. 61 fib, we have that weekly moving average, a key level, daily moving averages will be there. We have the 50 right now, but the 100 and the 200 will be closer to that area as well. So nothing to even second guess there. This 38 fib, would I want to take it? We do have a little bit of a key level. If we look over across here, we've got some touches right here too, so it's pretty clear. It rings in at 353, so there's no round number there. 38 fib, pretty strong key level. Let's just take a peek at the 4-hour. 353, we might have something, so we're gonna draw this up as a purple box just to keep an eye on it. Could take a sell, but nothing is certain yet. If we consolidate for probably this week, we might have the moving averages come to a place where it's a little bit more interesting for us. So definitely going to keep an eye on there. Going to keep a note, 38 fib key level, and then we've also got potential EMAs. So we've got that there. No need to keep it. Yeah, this one here, 61 plus daily plus weekly EMAs. This comes in at 364, so no round number. Yeah, but that's good for me. Obviously, we might have that trend line. This was the monthly. You see, I forget them so quick. It's important to keep notes. Monthly EMA plus monthly 38 fib. We might have this, 800 EMA come up, which would be kind of juicy. So that's really it for now. It's possible that price is going to break through lower and all of these fibs and all of these sell areas become invalid. Highly possible, probably probable. That's probably what's going to happen. So we need to update it accordingly. But yeah, I'm not so interested in taking this level that I have here. I think it's the weekly moving average. There's nothing else there. Yeah, we got this really nice moving average. We do have 327, there's no round number, definitely a key level. 327, we can see it super clearly over here with these wicks. So I'm gonna put a purple box with a note because it is something that I wanna keep an eye on, especially if we come sooner rather than later and hit that trend line. So we've got the key level plus the weekly EMA. That's what we've got right there. Nice and clean, nice and simple. All these setups are really straightforward. There's nothing too crazy with them. We just have to make sure that they remain valid. But that is what I'm looking out for on GU. Onwards and upwards to GN. This is what I have right now, but I'll clean it up for you guys and we'll start from scratch. So again, I like starting on the monthly. It's rare that we get setups, but having an idea where those moving averages are definitely helps a lot. Any major trend lines, I think we're bouncing off of one. To me, it feels like every single time like I draw this trend line and I'm just thinking to myself, well, why didn't I take this? Like, it's a monthly trend line, it's so clean and it's working. Where was I? And I don't know, it's just one of those weird things of like, you never think there's a setup on the monthly until one happens and you're like, well, it's so obvious, why didn't I take it? So, lesson learned. Don't really love this trend line, but we'll keep it nonetheless. Weekly, yeah, as you can see here, we just need, if we could get some kind of bullish fundamentals regarding the British pound, if we could get some kind that would drive some kind of significant pullback, be absolutely beautiful, because a lot of these pairs are lining up for strong sells. We're just not getting the price action to support it. I have a trend line here, but I'm going to draw that on the daily. Really, we've just got this whole cluster here. And that's it. So we'll draw our fibs and our trend lines on the daily. Got this guy here. Got that nice second touch. This was really a nice area. I don't know what I was doing or what I was thinking, but right there was a nice trade. So I hope some of you guys watching caught that. Definitely more of a swing trade, you know, the price action hasn't been great, but definitely offering some nice pips. Okay, so here what we have to do is we have to draw our fibs. So I'm going to be making a video maybe this week, hopefully soon, where I go in a little bit more depth with fibs because I'm getting a lot of questions about them. Some of my students are struggling a little bit with them. There's a few nuances that are important to keep in mind that clearly some people are struggling with, so I will make a video on it. But for now, all we're going to cover is that obviously this is a double fib scenario where we would want to draw both. So the first one here, we hit the 50 perfectly, so no problem, we can extend it. So this is our major fib. So right off the bat, I do like the 50 area because this horizontal line represents the weekly moving averages, and then we have all of these daily moving averages. So obviously, we're gonna put this here. And before I forget, 50 fib plus daily EMAs plus weekly. Okay. Probably it's a key level as well. So straightforward. Don't love trading the 50 fib, but in a situation like this, you wouldn't miss a trade like that. Let's look at the 38. Well, first, let's draw our second fib. So our second fib is right here. Okay. So this is where it gets tricky. I'm going to make it red. Normally, if we wanted to trade the 38 fib, it'd be no problem. We would put our pending order right on the 38 fib. But what's happening in the market is since we're not getting those pullbacks, all of the moving averages are starting to go below our preferred zones, which is going to make the execution side of things difficult, because price is most likely going to move up here. If it does move up here, it's going to move up and it is going to hit and react to this moving average before it hits our zone, which would mean that we will not get triggered and we would need a wider stop loss that would make the risk reward unfavorable. So in this situation, what you could do, even though we're probably not going to hit it in time, so this will become inadequate, insufficient to actually use, you could use this zone. So you have the 50, the 38, and then this moving average. So you could either split the pending or put your first one lower. That is the first thing that you could do. For me, I just won't take the trade because I know that the moving average is going to continue to move lower and it won't be favorable. So no setup on the major 38 fib or the minor 50 fib. What about the minor 38 fib right here? We do have a strong key level, which you can see right here. Very, very clean. So 918, 92 is definitely the key level. So we're going to, I'm gonna put a purple box because I do want to keep my eyes on this area. Okay, so for this we've got daily 38 fib plus key level slash round number. That looks good, so we'll keep that. This is the minor 61, so we will also put a sell here. So it's a 61 fib from like minor high plus EMAs. So you guys are probably seeing how this is going to be tricky depending on when we actually retrace, if we actually retrace. But these are the areas that I'm going to be looking at. 9.2, not necessarily going to take it, but it's definitely interesting. So that's it for GN 1.92. All of that is looking good. I'm sure you guys can see how the execution is what's going to be difficult, but it's just something that you get better with time. So that is it. In terms of buy, nothing crazy. It's kind of like catching a falling knife. If you really were ballsy, you could try and, you know, maybe go for a double bottom. That's not something I'm interested in. You got these lows here, so, you know, really I'm not interested in anything until we at least drop that's a couple hundred pips, I think. So yeah, no buys for now. Move on to our last pair. Let's look at Pound Aussie. This is what I have. You'll start to see some similarities, but we'll start fresh again as always. Let's go on to the monthly. Monthly is interesting because we did retest some of these. We're trying to break through some of the moving averages. We're retesting. We retested this blue 100 EMA. So really an interesting zone to be in. Previous month close was definitely bearish, no question about it. So again, this is why looking at the monthly is so good, because you would have seen those retracements. I honestly missed them. Again, don't know what I was doing. Same thing for the weekly. So this is definitely looking pretty bearish. I'm also interested in this trend line just because it's not relevant. We'll probably draw one from the daily from here. Let's check out our fibs. If we draw it from this bottom, we bounce right off the 61, so I don't mind extending that. We'll draw it to the top. Just shy of the 61, so that is interesting at 807. That's interesting. I don't know how close it came, but let's just put that for now. Let's go onto the weekly. So this came, the 61 came within 60 pips and I moved 300. So I'm not so convinced about this area because it's something that I talk a lot about with my students, and I understand it can be kind of a hard thing to grasp, but the number one thing about this strategy that's probably the most frustrating, the fact that the market will often come to our area and move before actually triggering us in, and that people want to still try the area, but the area becomes invalid, and you have to think about it in terms of the market's perspective of why things are moving the way that they're moving. So the reason that we got this 300 pip move is because there was a sufficient amount of orders that the market was able to pick up that drove that move higher, 300 pips. So the likelihood of it coming back down to the exact same area and moving is very unlikely. It happens all the I don't want to say it happens all the time. I mean, it does happen. It's frequent. It's just in terms of your risk, it's not worth it because it's not that likely to happen. You're just betting for a double top or a double bottom depending on the scenario. So not really worth it. And so all of the orders that have been picked up are now gone. They're expired. And so sure, there will be new orders at this 61 area, but all of the orders that supported this 300 pip move will be gone. So that is why it is riskier. Very, very nice key level, however, though. So I'm going to mark this up. I rarely trade break and retest, so really the purple boxes are like when I'm not so convinced. Plus strong key level. I'm gonna put a note. King within 60 pips and moved. Okay, so that's what we've got there for the major fib. We're on the daily, so let's draw this trend line. Pretty steep. Maybe at some point we'll get a third touch. Again, nice second touch on there. And we can also draw our double fib. So if we draw it from the top, again, this hit the 61, so we can extend it. We didn't get a clean break above, so I don't mind extending it, especially since it's such a major high. A lot of market participants are gonna be looking at that. 23 fib is working nice. So this is the 38. So the moving averages are not gonna be there, but I'm gonna put the 38 there nonetheless, just because it's the 38. Okay, and now let's see if we draw another fib from here. What's going on? I like the 61 and the 50 right here. Too bad this moving average is gonna not be there, but whoops. 1 fib plus 50 fib plus, you know, yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll keep an eye on that though. 38 and 50 is here, so yeah, we've got that. Don't like the moving averages. Again, this is an example of why the execution is going to be difficult, because price is most likely going to react to these moving averages and then not hit our zone before moving. So that's really it. So nothing too exciting. We're waiting for pullback. So I had one trade last week on GA. I think that was on Tuesday. Haven't taken anything since. So it's just a matter of staying patient and waiting for the best setup. So this is what we're looking at. Again, any buys, not as much as on the previous pair, but still a little bit risky. It's against momentum short term. This 61 fib could be interesting if it's a third touch on the trend line. So all in all, that gives you guys a lot of things to think about and to look at. Hopefully, you know, we have some similar setups you guys found in the same areas. Again, I'm always interested in taking the best setups. I'd rather quality over quantity. So if I had to predict, I don't think I'll be taking any trades this week. It's really about waiting for the best opportunity. So that is it. I hope you guys are doing well. Hopefully I'll be getting a couple more videos out this week, so keep your eyes out for that. Let me know in the comment section, you know, if you have any questions whatsoever, if you have similar setups, you know, just say hi. I love hearing from you guys. If you're still here, you have my gratitude. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, peace.